All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on today's webinar. We have two great guests, Gina and Mark, and we're going to be pelting them with some questions. Mark has some items prepared for us to learn from. We're going to do something a little different than past webinars, and that is to encourage questions from the folks that have joined us live today. So at the very end, we're going to open it up for some questions. You guys could think of one or two questions to throw at Gina and Mark and just have a little bit of dialogue around what they're sharing. I think we'll get a lot out of this time. It'll be very fruitful. So I have come up with some questions to ask them, but of course you guys know what your holes are and what you want to learn and what you want to get out of this time. So just to encourage you to ask those questions at one point. All right. So just jumping in, Gina, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long have you been with Wallside? What do you do when you're not selling windows?
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here today, having been with Wallside a mere 5 years, but I'm hoping that I can share a nugget or two. So 5 years with Wallside, but I have a 30-year sales career, and I know that many of you know more about selling windows than I do, but I do know sales and people, so that's kind of what I specialize in. I enjoy gardening and boating, and just bought some paddle boards, which are kind of fun. So that I've tried out a few times without getting wet. And I'm recently moved from Novi, Michigan to Port Huron Township. So we're working on a house. So got a lot of house projects. I have a daughter that's 17. So she's a full-time job, if you all know what I mean. And I have two grown stepchildren and two grandchildren from that. And I was a young grandma. I like to go by Gigi, Grandma Gina, instead of being called grandma, but I'm adapting. So that's kind of what I do. And as all of you know, most recently, we've been so darn busy, there isn't a lot of free time. So I'm kind of grateful that things have slowed down just a little bit, and just getting through it, been so busy.
And you have a really interesting perspective on Wallside compared to past positions you've had. And why Wallside? What keeps you here with this company? Why have you sold for Wallside for the last 5 years?
You know, I worked, this is my second career, and getting this job, this sales job, which I consider to be the ultimate sales job. I worked prior in sales in different capacities or sales management, but this is career number 2. My first career was with ADT Security, and I worked there for 25 years. Worked my way up to low-level management, and it was really trying. And to tell you really about my optimism now is because of what I've been through. So I got to tell you a little bit about that. My sales career was built on prospecting, and prospecting. And that means cold calling on the phone, cold calling in person, knocking on doors to gain business, clover leafing. A company would give you one unqualified appointment for the day, and we were made to go across the street to the next door neighbors, to their neighbors. It was all about referrals and really scrounging up the business. In that position. So I both sold that way and then had to train others to do so. It was a very rigid, so ADT is of course a Fortune 500 company. There wasn't a lot of flexibility. I find myself now very grateful to be here for many reasons. We earn well, so the job pays, and I think we all know that. I love the flexibility of it. For example, I was allowed to create and tweak my own presentation. In the past, there was a set presentation, word for word. You were trained, you were quizzed and tested. That's a lot. In fact, I wanted to share this. This is bizarre. I went to a job interview once in the security industry, probably during the 7 months that I was courting Stanford and trying to get this sales job, because it took a while, and he wouldn't hire me right away because we didn't need a sales rep at that moment. So what I liked about that is he was looking out for everyone else and making sure that everyone could eat. So 7 months it took me to get this job, and I did a little interviewing during that time. And I went to a job interview with a company, security company, that was audio something. And this guy, owner of the company, wanted a recording, audio recording of every sit with a customer. I thought that was so invasive, and it certainly would change the dynamic between you and the customer and just the intimacy of it. So, residential sales is very intimate, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy working here. I think that my first several years, Wallside runs like a top. The Blank family has it down to a science, pretty much. And, this pandemic has been different, obviously, and some days are real tricky, but all in all, I'm grateful to be working. I'm grateful for the flexibility. I'm grateful to the Blank family for putting up with my personal challenges. So my mom, I had to take my mom in, she had dementia. During that time, they worked with my schedule. They allowed me to work the dreaded split shift. I had the 10 and then the 5 and 7, but it allowed me to pick up my mom from dialysis, take care of her, and then go back to work. And most jobs don't allow that flexibility. Also, my daughter had some health issues during the pandemic. I had to take some time off for that. And we all know when we're not working, we're not earning, but there's really a lot to be said for that. Most jobs don't allow it. You're limited. Maybe you don't get the same job when you come back to the company or take that type of time off, but I'm grateful. And I think that's a big, big difference. Working for a large family-owned business compared to corporate America, where the only thing that matters is shareholders. If I heard about shareholders one more time, I didn't even know what I was going to do. But just the flexibility really is the biggest thing, and it's important. We work for a lot of reasons. We work for money. We work to belong to something good, and I wholeheartedly feel like all of us belong to something really good. So that's that little piece.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for sharing all that. I definitely agree that there is a front door to this company, and it's not easy to open. I remember when I started asking about how many folks we hire a year, thinking, oh, maybe 10, 20, folks. No, 1, 2 folks a year. It's not the easiest process, but once you're in, it's a great company to be a part of.
Well, the
Thanks for
longevity,
sharing all that.
yeah, the longevity of the reps tells a great story. And the nepotism, there's a lot of related people here. And truly, when you look at that, you don't refer someone bring someone in or try and help someone get a job somewhere that's crappy. So Mary Jane Garcia was very instrumental in helping me get into this. And the late Felice Bernadera that I worked with at ADT Security, he and I worked very closely together, and he always said, Gina, when you can't take it anymore, this was at ADT, he said, you should go get a sales job at Wallside. And one day I said, I'm going to do it. And I did.
Mark, how are you this morning?
Great, great. Nice to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
So same question to you. How long have you been with Wallside? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do when you're not selling windows?
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. I'm excited, amped up to be with you this morning to share my version of the secret sauce. It all started with an interview with Martin Blank through Bill Hawk, actually. Our wives met, got to know each other. He was selling for New York Carpet World at the time. His accountant knew Stewart. That led him to Wallside. And once I came in, I rode with him on a Saturday afternoon or an evening appointment. I was a general sales manager for the Bill Cook Automotive Group. I was a sales trainer. And once I met Mr. Blank, what a kind, gentle soul who really cared about his sales force. He didn't want to bring me on because he was concerned about the 20 reps that he had. And he had enough leads to keep those 20 people busy and happy. And he told me, he says, I don't mind if my reps live in a nice house and their wife drives a nice car, because I know they're going to have to work hard to maintain that lifestyle. And that was like heaven to me. I mean, I just loved that attitude, and that's still the same today. Love representing the Blank family. I'm in it to win it, obviously. I've been highly successful for 32 years, and I'm happy to share my secret sauce with everybody this morning. That's going to ultimately, hopefully you'll find a nugget or two, as Gina said here this morning, that's going to help make you millions of dollars in the future. Jenny and I love traveling the world. I normally take the winters off, and we have a winter home in the Philippines, and we travel Asia once we're over there. We both love to play golf. We love theater. We love to go to plays and things like that. So I'm happy things are opening up. And I'm really in this, when I'm going into a customer's house, I'm never thinking about making a sale or my commission, in other words. I'm looking to see what I can do to help solve their window issue and help them, help people. And because of that, the commission is always there. So yeah, I love doing what I do. Fantastic. It's a salesperson's dream. Are you kidding me? We're going to guarantee these windows for 35 years, no matter who lives here. I love going on a good news sales call. I went on one a couple of weeks ago, senior citizens in Warren. And as soon as I pulled in the driveway, I knew I sold these windows years ago. And I could see the seal failure in the front window. So I walk in, and the husband's in a wheelchair, the wife's talking to me, and I said, do you realize these are wall-side windows? She goes, no, I didn't know. I said, okay, well, what's your problem? What am I here for? So she takes me to the front, shows me the seal failure. So I said, let me just verify it. So I called in the office, and they were put in 2010. They're under a full warranty. Talk about happy. I said, we're going to fix this at no charge for you. And, I told her what to do. And it's just being a good, helping people. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing all that. And it shows that you have 30 plus years experience in the industry, in the field, and just looking at even your past year, your cancellation rates are close to zero, right? I think it's around 2% or lower. You sell glass breakage on 98, 99% of all of your jobs. Your customer satisfaction is very high, and your closing percentages are very high. what is the secret sauce? How are you positioning your customers so well?
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So when I go in the house, you know, we're all actors to some degree, and their living room floor is our stage. Their dining room table is our stage. And I relate to people. I look for commonalities. I talk very little actually about windows. I mean, I do present the product, as you'll see, but I'm looking for things that we can relate to. Went into a house the other day and they're growing marijuana in a bedroom. I mean, he actually wholesales marijuana. So that became the topic of conversation. Being observant in the house, it really helps you sell. And this light kit right here has made me millions of dollars in my 32 years, and it'll help you. This is the secret sauce. So, okay, so in the culinary world, chefs, you know, maybe 10 different chefs will have 10 different ways of making pasta or paella or whatever. They have their own version of the secret sauce. So what I'm going to share with you right now is my version of this secret sauce. And I would encourage everyone, do not rush the light kit demonstration, and make sure you use it all the time. I mean, there are some occasions where I don't pull it out. If it's a previous customer, if it's a guy that's flipping a house and he's, you know, it's all business, whatever, I may not show the light kit, but probably I would say to the tune of 98% of the time, I'm showing the light kit. So I bring up, when I'm in the house, I bring up early. So did the office happen to tell you the installation timetable? And I've got a smile on my face. I'm curious. No, they didn't. I said, oh yeah. I get the elephant that's in the room out of the room right away. I said, yeah, well, we're scheduling now for late May of next year. Really? Oh my God. I said, yeah, you know, it's the whole COVID thing, the whole supply chain thing, and bam, you've got something in common right at the beginning because they've been dealing with it too. So we get that elephant out of the room, and I continue doing my measurements and talking to people, and I'm always observing. I sold that guy that was growing marijuana. He had two bigger dogs in the yard barking, wanting to meet me in the worst way. And they had a couch in front of a 58 wide by 54 tall picture window in the living room. And I could see the nose prints on the glass. I mean, all over this window. And I know that's where those dogs are hanging out. So I packed that job. I charged for tempered glass on that window. And as I was presenting the price on that job, I said, you know what? I said, tempered glass is required for the bathroom, but I'm also going to include it for you on that picture window right there, because I know your dogs spend a lot of time there. And if they happen to jump at a squirrel, I don't want them getting hurt. I'm a dog lover. They loved it. Of course, I included it already in the price. So let's get back to the light kit. I'm done measuring. I go out, I get my sample, I get my light kit. I said, now, and if there's children, oh God, that's gold. Get the kids over. Hey kids, come on over. You want to learn about glass today? Get them involved. And you know who appreciates it? Mom and dad. Their children are learning something. So I pull out the kit, and I've got my clear, I've got my Energy Star, and I've got my I-89. And when I put the clear up here, I say, now go ahead and feel that. You're probably going to recognize that feeling, because most of their windows, I mean, maybe they have a single coat of low E at best, or they're single pane. They're single pane. I said, well, this is an improvement. Believe it or not, as much heat as you're feeling right here, that's an improvement. If the kids are involved, I say, hey kids, you know where you've seen this light before? McDonald's, keeping your French fries warm. And they laugh. And I have a lot of fun with this. This is where the fun factor for me comes in. This is the sizzle in the bacon. And there was one time I was in a mobile home in Shelby Township, and there was 3 kids on the couch. The living room was brand new carpet and blue carpet, and it was there was no furniture other than that couch with the kids sitting there. Mom and dad were in the kitchen, and so I just set the heat lamp on the floor, and I turned it on. I said, now it's showtime. And I just started dancing. I don't know what struck me. The kids were laughing. Mom and dad were laughing. Sold the job. So this next one right here is Energy Star. This is what the EPA recommends in Michigan at a minimum that we use So feel this, okay, so they feel that. And now this is what you're gonna have with wall side. This is the game changer. And they feel it and they go, oh my God, oh my God. And they don't feel anything, obviously, with the I-89. Now that's real perceived value. This gets the people emotionally involved in wanting what I have to offer. And even though we have raised our prices multiple times in the last 18 months, we are still the best value in windows today. And you've got to know that you know that you know that you know that. And if you're not excited, and you're not, I mean, I'm not dancing off the walls or anything, bouncing off the walls, but I use a lot of voice inflection when I never want to sound like a canned pitch. I use a lot of voice inflection. I keep it interesting. And if you're not excited about what you have to offer, how is the customer going to get excited? So another thing, after I turned off the lamp with the I-89, I said, not only is this going to do a terrific job, I explained what it is, of course. This has heat reflective low E on both sides. It's going to keep you warmer in the winter, cooler in the summer. It's got 100% compressed argon gas in between the double pane because it's sealed in a pressurized argon tank. And the interior glass surface has a coating called indium. Indium's the same coating. I grabbed my cell phone. That's on our smartphones and our tablets. Not only will this do a terrific job of efficiency for you, it's also going to block out 93% of the damaging UV rays from the sun. Now imagine you're out walking your dog on a hot July afternoon or playing a round of golf, and you've got SPF 93 on your skin. You'd feel pretty good about that, wouldn't you? And you all agree, yeah. Okay, well now your house is going to have SPF 93. Strong as a bull in a china shop. There was one time I was in Pontiac, and I couldn't see where I could put the heat lamp except on the top of the couch. And these people were Mexican. So I plug it in the wall, I put it on top of the couch, I turn it on, and the red light shows right on the portrait of Jesus. And the woman goes, like, sold. So have fun with this. Don't shortcut yourself. I was in a house the other day, Thursday, I think of last week. It was my first call of the day. It was one window in Royal Oak. The heat lamp sold the job. You know, we want to, as a salesperson for Wallside, I never take any lead for granted. I give every lead my full respect. It might be one window, but it's one important window for them. And in today's day and age of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you cannot afford not to make a good impression. So even that one window lead got the heat lamp presentation. They were nice people. I saw a book about Babe Ruth on the table. We started talking baseball, memories at Tiger Stadium. I mean, I was one of the family members by the time I left. And, you know, it was a $900 sale, but you know what? She said that they had Kroll Construction coming out after me. She says, wow, that heat lamp, that made a real difference. That's what I want in my house. We don't need to talk to Kroll. So, you know what? I got a $100 bill in my pocket and I'm off to my next appointment. And then, of course, I do pull out the corner section and let them know that our windows are fiberglass reinforced inside. They don't have to worry about structural integrity. You know, and that's the heat lamp is just critically important. It gets them excited. And there's really, you benefit in several different ways. First of all, you can charge more money, okay? Even though we've raised our prices, we are still the value leader. And you know that because other companies have raised their prices a lot higher than us. So I had a job in Lake Orion about a week or so ago. My price was 14 grand. She goes, oh my God, let's do it. And he goes, honey, slow down. This is the part we're supposed to negotiate. And I laughed and I again reinforced the value of Wallside. You're going to sell more windows using this heat lamp. You're going to get less cancellations because their desire has been built up by that heat lamp presentation. You'll make more money, obviously. And you're also going to get more callbacks. You'll get more people calling you back. I just wrote one yesterday, a really nice job out in Ira Township. Call back from June 15th. So the value is, it's incredible. This is essential to me, this heat lamp presentation. It gets them emotionally involved and gets them excited, and they really want what we have to offer. And they're willing to wait for it. It's amazing. Now, in selling windows, I don't give the house away. I'm short on a job maybe once or twice a year, maybe, if that. I just took a look at last month. I was about $15,000 over last month on all my jobs collectively. Now, I don't gouge people, but I packed jobs. And every door wall I see gets a custom door wall charge, even if it's a standard door wall. I never know, you know, pack it. When in doubt, charge the customer. If you're not sure that that window needs tempered glass or not, charge them for tempered. When in doubt, charge the customer. So I'm never short. I build relationships really well. That's my passion. That's my love, is caring for people and helping them help themselves with our product. And the heat lamp is essential in building their desire. And when they have that desire built up the right way, they're not going to cancel. And they're probably going to call you back if they didn't buy it on the initial visit. And the way I do, one of the things I'm doing right now very successfully for the last 18 months is telling people, listen, we're doing a couple of extra things for everyone right now. We appreciate everyone's patience and waiting for us longer than normal. So we're going to give you full screens on every window instead of the standard half screen. You're getting the Marblite sills. And then when I'm writing up the job is when I bring this up. And remember I told you that we're doing a couple extra things. You're also going to get 5 years of free accidental glass breakage. We appreciate your patience, and these are the extras we're giving you, and they love it. Oh, really? Yeah, you got the 35-year warranty, but we're also going to include the 5 years of accidental glass breaks. We're talking a baseball, lawnmower throwing a stone, you name it. If it breaks in the first 5 years, we're going to come out and replace it for free. It's strong as a bull in the china shop. They love it. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Showing us how to have fun with the light kit and why it's the sizzle of the presentation.
It's showtime, baby. When that light's on, it's showtime.
So do you dance at every appointment, or was it that just particular?
That only happened one time, but I always, I love it when there's children around. I always include the kids. They're you know, imagine how much warmer your room is going to be, Johnny, in the wintertime, you know. I mean, parents love it, kids love it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And give every lead your full respect. I never view myself
absolutely
into the house by myself. I know the Wallside team is relying on my performance. Nothing happens at Wallside until we sell a window.
Very good. That's so great, and build that value into our product with the use of the light kit. So you can have a lot of fun with the customer, build that rapport with them. At the same time, just build a ton of value into what you're selling. And then you're not handling certain types of objections at the end. So very cool.
It makes it real. It makes it real, as opposed to you just imagine if you're just going in and showing a white vinyl double hung window that they've seen already. Our window is not substantially different from other vinyl windows on the market. It's not necessarily the best window out there, but you know what? It's the best value out there. And the light kit makes it real, as opposed to you just showing a vinyl window and saying this has a U factor of 0.023 or whatever. That's boring. They're not even engaged. This totally builds the desire and their want for your product. It makes it real.
Good. Thank you again, Mark. That was great. So just a reminder at the end, I have 2 or 3 more questions I'm going to fire at these guys. If you have any questions at this point, anything you want to add to the conversation, there's a little hand. You can raise it, and I'll unmute you and allow you to ask questions of these 2 folks. So turning to you, Gina, I know you are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to building relationships. Tell us a little bit about your approach with conversation. What does that look like? How do you build a rapport with a customer?
Well, it's interesting times, and I decided when this pandemic started that I really don't sell windows as much as I sell time. And that's where we're at. We're selling time. We need the buy-in of the customer, and all of that starts with rapport, but certainly trust. So trust is a big deal. And we know that the Blanks and Wallside do a ton of advertising. We're a mainstay in homes. That's why we get the call to be there in the first place. But gaining rapport is, I'm honored to be in their home. Truly, it's personal. Every day is a sociological experiment, and I love that part of this job. So it's very intimate, and trust is important. What we need to keep in mind, and if I could just maybe share this nugget, is people are nervous to have you there in their house. They're not comfortable. We're going into their bedrooms. We're going into their bathroom. Is their house clean? Are you judging them? All of that. Can they afford this? Are you going to pressure them? Put yourself in that customer's shoes. So when you do that and you work on that rapport, it's important. It's vital. So I go in and try and sit down first. It doesn't always work out that way, but I want to sit. I want to chat. I want to gain rapport, talk about the weather, talk about their jobs. Are you working from home? What has the pandemic been like for you? All of that good stuff. So once we truly make friends, then I can conduct business. And so I sit, gain rapport, I chat. So just like Mark said, I spend a lot of time getting to know them. That's vital. The rest of it's easy once you accomplish that piece. They need to trust you because they're waiting 7 months. You don't give someone thousands of dollars and not trust them that something's going to happen 7 months from now. So when the pandemic started, again, having that autonomy to look at my presentation, I said, I got to tweak this a little bit. I got to spend more time here so that I can build that and then get them, through the process. It's attention to detail. And right now, more than anything, it's managing their expectations. You really got to walk them through it. You got to handhold them while you're in the set so you don't get the calls later, because our business moves fast. So you're moving forward all the time. You got to take that time when you're there with them. I probably take more time than most. Rarely is it a 20-minute sit. I spend a good hour. And once in a while I get in trouble because I need to get to the next one. But so rapport building, sitting down, trying to get to know everybody. Then I'm present. So then we talk windows. I'm very strong believer in using the brochure. So I use the brochure, and I think that all senses need to be involved. People look, they smell, they feel, you have to get them involved with all of that. So just like Mark said, getting them involved with the light kit and the kids and all of that, the more involvement you have, the better chance you have of closing. So rapport first, then I present, then I measure. So once I measure, I come back to the table and I calculate price. This is just something that has worked for me, and maybe a couple of you want to give it a try. So I present price. I sit for a second, everyone's digesting that. try not to talk because I have a big mouth, which most of us do, right? And then I ask, if it's all right with you, I'd like to go grab the window sample now so I can show it to you. Now, this is strategy. I'm leaving the house purposefully at this moment in time so they can talk about money. Money is a funny, funny topic. And if you think about your experience personally, nobody talks about how much they earn. You don't even talk to your kids about money. I think even just our generation now discusses money, earning, and finances with our kids. They need to know that stuff, but it is a taboo subject. So you need to give them the time to discuss. He doesn't know if she just spent money on the credit card. She doesn't know that he just bought a motorcycle. They don't know what their credit scores are. They don't know how much is in their account. How can they do this? And if it is a couple, you've got to give them that private time to discuss, work through it. I will hang out at the car for a few minutes, just mainly getting fresh air with that stupid mask off my face. And then I enter back in, demonstrate the window, and you might be surprised that giving them that time to figure it out will get you more one call closes. They just, they need to talk about it. They need to work through it. It's an emotional thing. And then I always bring in a screen sample, and again, getting them involved. I've got to make sure that screen's in good shape. If you ask Dave Ball, I go through more screens than anybody in town, but I like to show it. I flex it, I hand it to them. I want them to feel it. It's really, really rare that someone doesn't like it. It's usually an older person that wants an old school screen. Most people are delighted with it and see the value. And it just takes it to a new level. It's a differentiator for us. And it's important to be different. So, just try maybe a different order sometimes, shake things up a little bit. I've always felt that sales is a true profession. And I'm not going to tell you that I sit and read the sales books anymore. I've read them all and it is what it is, but there's always something to learn and take a nugget from. But you got to sometimes drop back and look at how you're doing things, tweak it a little bit. I'm fortunate that I have a great support system in the company. Mary Jane really helped me learn the business. That's Mary Jane Garcia, by the way. So she got me in, she taught me the business. John Stover helps me with technical stuff. Plenty of others allowed me to ride along and learn. But, there's still stuff you don't know and things change. But you got to tweak your presentation sometimes and just take a look at how you're doing things. How can I freshen it up, keep it exciting, and be interesting for the customer? So I truly have fun with it. And I have fun with customers. And just as Mark did a little jig, I've been known to do a jig too. Sometimes you have to do a jig, but I enjoy it. People are different. And just seeing how people live is truly an honor. It's, like I said, a sociological experiment. I love it, but they don't want to be judged. And it's that trust factor that you really need to spend more time on rapport. So that's just the piece that I can share now. They're giving you a lot of money. They're waiting a long time for it. And I too am, depending on my feel, I bring up our wait time early. You don't need to drop the bomb on them late. When it feels appropriate, say it. And, you just have to explain that we're worth the wait. I brag about the Blank family, and people, the biggest compliment that I can receive is I have a lot of customers tell me that they see that I enjoy my job. And that really is the greatest compliment. It helps them trust you and know that it's a good company. So that's my piece.
So interesting. And I'm seeing a topic for another webinar around dancing with customers, but yeah, a few nuggets that I really thought was interesting that you said is, first you have to make a friend and then you can do business. And I thought that was a really powerful comment that you had made. And that also you create this space in your presentation with the customer for that price point to allow them to have a conversation around price. You exit their entire home and allow them to do whatever it is they need to do. Very interesting. Great. So thank you guys so much for being willing to be on the webinar today. If there are any pending questions, this would be the moment to add to the conversation. They're always fun for me to do. I appreciate learning from you guys and you guys being willing to share your knowledge with everybody else. So I get feedback from other folks afterwards, and I always hear, oh, I got this one nugget, I got this other nugget, this helped me here, this helped me there. I know everybody on the phone right now could probably teach 3 hours on the presentation and go through this entire thing, but this is how we sharpen each other and become better at our jobs. It's just constant reminders of things that are working, and folks get in ruts, and different things happen during presentations. I'm actually going to turn it over to Adam. I hope I didn't unmute his video too badly. Okay, good. So there he is. Thanks again, guys.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Gina and Mark for sharing that. I learned a tremendous amount too. And obviously, throughout our very experienced, knowledgeable, and successful sales team, we all have this incredible amount of knowledge. So I appreciate the two of them coming in and sharing those bits. Really, really informative. And hopefully the people that were listening and those that are going to listen later can gather something that will hopefully help them throughout their sales presentation. And then if you have something that you want to share, let us know. This was kind of a great opportunity for those that are in the field day in and day out to share something. And that's ultimately the best way for all of us to learn, is to share the knowledge that we have together. So again, thank you very much to Mark and Gina for sharing their knowledge. Really, really great stuff. And I hope that you found it valuable and worthwhile. So, and wish everyone a great morning and a great day. Make it a great day. Thank you all for joining.
You're more than welcome. And if anybody has any questions or would like to talk to me, feel free to give me a call anytime.
Mark, thank you, Gina. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Let's win the day.